Hi, welcome to the second module for the BPS Common Core Math Digital PD. This module is going to be about the BPS Math Planning Guides, also known as the Pacing Guides. The essential question we're going to address today is where are the planning guides and how do I utilize this when planning my instruction? Our focus will be to demonstrate how to access this document and to provide you with a brief overview of these planning guides. In order to access the planning guides, you are simply going to go to the billingschools.org website. You will then click on Departments in the top navigation, go to Curriculum and Instruction, and then in that left-hand frame, you're going to go to the K-6 Math Suggested Planning Guides. So here I am at the billingschools.org website. I'm going to click on Departments, click on Curriculum and Instruction, and I'm going to go to K-6 Math Suggested Planning Guides. You'll notice here at the top of the page we have K through 6 planning guides. You will click on whichever particular grade level refers to you, and that will then download as a PDF file. Alright, so here is the second grade suggested pacing guide or planning guide that I've opened. The first thing I want to point out to you is down at the bottom of your pacing guide, it should say May 2012. That's going to let you know that this is the most recent pacing guide, as it has been revised since last year. So always take a look at that date and make sure you're using the right one. All of these pacing guides are set up in a very similar fashion. On the left-hand column, you're going to notice that we have listed the domain, the big strand within math, and in this case numbers and operations in base 10, and then here is the cluster. Understand place value is the group that this particular standard falls into. Okay, so domains and clusters will be listed over here. In the center column you're going to see the standards. So to NBT1 here is defined. The standard in this area right here is 2.NBT3. Notice that NBT stands for the domain, numbers and operations in base 10. Okay? Then over here on the right hand side are the resources. So notice up here that we have a code and it's going to be at the top of every page. These particular codes relate to the resources that you're using. When you see the code SFAW, that's simply referring to your Scott Forsman Addison Wesley textbook. So it is referring to lessons within the Scott Forsman text. Another code that all of the grade levels will see is EMGK. That simply stands for the Everyday Math Game Kit. You all have a yellow games kit book, and it is referring to games and activities within that resource. On your pacing guide, you're also going to see a resource referred to as SUP, S-U-P-P, and that references supplemental booklet or materials. So when you see SUP, depending upon your grade level, it can mean the Common Core Math Bridge booklet that we had put together by Scott Forsman, or it can also refer to some supplemental packets that we've put together for you. So let me explain. SUP can refer to the Common Core Math Bridge Supplement for grades 3, 4, and 5. So grades 3, 4, and 5, you received a book that's soft cover but actually is to be used like a hardcover. And when you see SUP, it may be referring to this particular supplement. Okay, so it might say lesson 3-1 SUP. So it's referring to this book. Okay, or SUP can also refer to the supplemental packets that we've put together for your grade level. So notice if you're on the website, the curriculum and instruction section, there is a K-6 Math Suggested Planning Guides, quarterly recording sheets, and supplemental resources. So under the planning guides, you're actually going to see supplemental packets. So if I were to click on third grade, it's going to open up a supplemental packet that is a PDF. Okay? Here you'll see packets for kindergarten, second grade, third grade, and then sixth grade. Another resource that you'll find on your pacing guide is the WebK5 resource. This is an online website. The URL is listed here as well as on your pacing guide. These activities clearly are aligned to the Common Core standards. So teachers that are utilizing this resource on the pacing guide for kindergarten through fifth grade are really finding value in these various activities that are found here. Another code that's listed in the sixth grade resources, so this is applicable to sixth grade only, is MSA, and that's referring to the Math Station Activities book. Sixth grade teachers received this particular hardcover book, and when you see MSA, it's referring to an activity within this resource. Another resource that third through sixth grade teachers will see in their pacing guide is the differentiated binder, and this will be identified by DB. This binder was put together a few years back for extension activities in our third through sixth grade classrooms, but what we found is we were correlating the Common Core standards. Many of these activities fit nicely with our current grade level Common Core standards. So DB refers to differentiated binder. And one last resource I want to share with you, and this once again applies only to sixth grade, is the code that's TBW, and that stands for Teacher Background Resources. What we did is we put together a little website that provided some good teacher background information relating to some of the concepts you are teaching. You'll find this very valuable, so please, sixth grade teachers, do take a look at this. So let me go ahead and show you where you're going to find this link. Once again, we're back at this familiar place. When you go to your planning guides, sixth grade teachers, you just need to scroll down a little bit, and what you're going to see is at the bottom you're going to see sixth grade supplemental resources, and there's a website that you can click on. This website URL is also found at the top of your pacing guide. So when you click here, you will notice that this website will provide you with teacher background information related to specific standards. So they are organized by domain, and then you'll see the specific standard number listed over here. So hopefully you all now have a better understanding of what specific resources you are being referred to as you see that code listed in your pacing guide. Also, just want to remind you that this is called a suggested pacing or planning guide. We've chunked it by quarters. We hope that it is helpful for you as you roll out your standards during the year. And I also want to point out how you can use this pacing guide along with that BPS standards document that is described in the first module. Notice that if I were to look at my pacing guide and I see, let's go down to this last standard on this page, 40A2. I'm not exactly sure as I look at that standard what it means when it refers to multiplicative comparison. So what I can do is I can go to that BPS Math Standards document, and here I see 40A2. Here's the standard, here's some specific objectives, and then once again over here it gives me an explanation and examples of what's really meant by multiplicative comparison. So your pacing guide's not going to provide that for you, so you will probably want to pull out that standards document to help you better unpack and understand that particular standard. So that's how those two documents, this one along with the pacing guide, can work together.